Spirit, or the Spirit touches you, then you sort of feel connected with everything. So, the title of the book is The Power of Silence. The chapter is chapter 4, and it's called The Descent of the Spirit. Now, what we're doing today is going to read this quote because he actually makes a statement about the human race, okay? Now, it's easy to look at the positives and negatives of the human race, okay? So everybody has their own opinions. So again, considering the source, this is reported by Carlo Castaneda, and then the person that he's quoting is somebody named Juan. That to this day, there's a debate over whether he ever existed or not. Okay. The bottom line is the information helpful? So you take these ideas and you consider them whether they're going to be helpful or not. One of the ways you can do that is cross-referencing with other philosophies, religions, belief systems, and then see how that fits in with what you are going to do in your life, okay? Is everybody following me so far?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to read this. He says, Don Juan had asserted that our great collective flaw is that we live our lives completely disregarding that connection. So since we're starting in the middle of a paragraph or a whole chapter, we aren't sure yet what he means by that connection, okay? The busyness of our lives, our relentless interests, concerns, hopes, frustrations, and fears take precedence. And on a day-to-day basis, we are unaware of being linked to everything else. So, in a short synopsis, if we were going to take this whole sentence and put it down into some words we could remember, what is our great collective flaw?
We're unaware of being linked to everything else.
Right. And that's what I want us to remember. So let's see if we can make this in a positive way. I am linked to everything. That's going to be the easiest way to remember that, okay? So we aren't going to focus on the fact that most of humanity doesn't know this. What we're going to do is we're going to turn this on its head and we're going to learn this lesson. And so we are going to now, at this moment, intend to learn that I am linked to everything. And that's all we have to write. I am linked to everything. And that's this particular lesson. That'll be the end. I have one more statement to make that should tie this all together. Now, according to me, when we started all of these Bible studies, probably about 7 years ago, what did I choose as what I wanted to use for the definition of God?
Love.
Okay.
Living life force.
Okay. Together we came up with a definition that God is the unconditional love coming through as a living energy, something along those lines. We have it written down. When we started, my definition was God is everything. Because I felt like no matter what we're aware of, because God basically is unspeakable, we aren't quite to any type of understanding yet, I would say, of what God is. God has to be much more. So I felt like God was everything. Also felt like God was in everything myself, or God is in everything. This is my personal belief. And since I'm directing these studies, that's what I want us to focus on. If you go away and choose to believe something else, that's your choice, but at least you have my belief to bounce off of. So, if God is everything, what does this statement say if you substitute that word? I am linked to what? God. So what would our great collective flaw as a human race be?
We don't connect ourselves to God.
We are unaware.
We don't realize it.
And I think that's true. We have to work sort of hard to build up our concept and use our rationality and spend a lot of time thinking and attention and focus to even rekindle the connection. And like he says, look at the reason that we don't do it. Because of the busyness of our lives, our relentless interests, concerns, hopes, frustrations, and fears take precedence on a day-to-day basis. So what he's saying is that we don't set aside enough time to focus on this.